Was good, was good, was good. Had to run around the house and find the right location. Give a couple of more seconds before people, see how many people show up. Then I'm gonna go in. Was good though. Was good 4-1. Was good, my boy. Was good. Matter of fact, I ain't even waiting. I'm so happy that this All-Star weekend is over with. They gotta change it. They gotta change it. Shit is garbage. Garbage. If they don't change it, they're gonna lose more of the fan base. It makes no sense for players who played and participated in the All-Star weekend to say that the All-Star game was trash. It's the beginning of the end. This whole season is over with. I'm happy because now my team got a bye. Every team that's in a compromising spot got a bye. And we're gonna fast forward the rest of the season. We're gonna fast forward the rest of the season. We're gonna get to the playoffs, go through that, get to the summer, and get ready for next season. That's all everybody care about right now. This season is a wrap. It's over. It's over. Season is done. We got to buy. This is beautiful. I'm happy that it went this way because now you can't feel bad about the team having the season that they haven't. I think the fact that we got BI, that was the greatest thing that could happen in this situation. And now we could get ready for the rest of the season. We get ready for next year. Everything and every team right now is thinking about next season. Only the handful of teams that think they can win it think we gonna care. That's the thing that's crazy. It don't even matter who win. Nobody cares now. Nobody. This is irrelevant basketball for the next 4 or 5 months. No one's gonna care who the champion is. No one's gonna care what happens after this because it's gonna always be a stain on the season. This was supposed to salvage the season right here. This all-star shit was supposed to save the season, and it just made things worse. You got Draymond and Oscar Robertson going back and forth. Draymond complaining. Draymond is it's so hypocritical for him to complain about the very thing that made him rich. He's complaining about the way the game is. But the way that the Golden State Warriors played is the reason why the game is the way it is. They won 4 championships playing that way. And he got rich doing it. Now he's complaining, saying it's monotonous and it's boring. Of course, because everybody's trying to do what the fuck you did to win. It looked like a winning formula. This is a copycat league. Now he's going to complain. After he done got his, he banged out, got right. Now it's whack. It wasn't whack when you was doing it. You know what I mean? It wasn't whack when it was your time to shine and pass the ball to Steph 90 times. He built, and Oscar Robertson is right. He built his career off of passing to Steph. I get the rebounds, I get the defense, but a lot of his shine came from who he was giving the rock to. That's a fact. We don't remember when he was giving the rock up to anybody else. Not Sean Livingston, not Iguodala, not Clay. Like, we remember him giving it to Steph and Steph busting his gun. They're connected in a sense. So for him to call it out and make it seem like it's whack, it's just whack because you got yours already. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the rest of the season, this shit is a dub. I'm happy that we got what we got, and we got something to look forward to. And no matter what happens with the rest of this season, it's irrelevant basketball. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's going to care about who wins this year's championship. I think next year is going to be exciting, though. I'm gonna tell you, I mean, we still gonna watch because it's gonna be something to talk about, but we're not watching basketball for the sake of the thing that we love. It doesn't mirror what we love about basketball. It's entertainment now. You know what I mean? I don't think we're gonna see more competitive and impactful basketball until next season. Because they're gonna have to change some rules, they're gonna have to change some things immediately. NBC is gonna be filming the games. They got TNT still trying to make moves. ABC's trying to make moves. Max is making moves. Hulu, Prime, everybody's trying to make NBA moves. So they have to clean this situation up in order for it to look like the product that looks profitable going into the future. They have to change it. They have to change it. Fuck what Adam Silver was talking about in the press conference. They got to change it. They got to change it. They have to make it more interesting and more competitive. If it's simply going to be this, it's going to be the way it is, and people are going to stop watching because there's other shit to do. And the superstars in the NBA pale in comparison to the other superstars on social media. That's a fact. So we're going to see. I'm looking forward to next season. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think the playoffs are going to be interesting, but not to the point where we're going to forget about the stench of this season. Like, there is nothing that's happened this season that makes us remember anything about what we've seen as far as basketball outside of the conversations about everything outside of the game. Like, nobody's talking about basketball being played. We're talking about everything outside of the lines. Until they figure out what's going on in the middle of the court and how to make that interesting, more interesting than the storylines and the sound bites and the hot takes, it's gonna be garbage for the next few years until they figure it out and allow these kids to play basketball and force them to play basketball in a way that's more traditional. And it's gonna take these coaches saying, listen, we don't need 53s, and we're gonna need you to be more of a ball player, and we're gonna need you to be everything that you say you're supposed to be coming in as a professional. We don't need you to be a specialist. We need you to be able to do whatever we need you to do to win. Until we see that, I think it's gonna be a problem. Yeah, they yeah, yeah, but they should, yeah. You know, David Stern is dead and gone. RIP to GOAT. He had a certain vision also. You know what I mean? Him, guys like him, Steinbrenner, they all had the good and the bad that goes with it. But David Stern was definitely great for basketball. They should leave it up to the fan vote. You know what I mean? I think the problem is they're not trusting the system that they want us to believe in as fans. They want us to vote. They want us to believe that our vote counts, but they don't want the bots and all that to play a part. When in actuality, the system that they're using, they have to trust it as well. You can't just have us trusting in something and you don't believe in it yourself to the point where it's like, nah, we'll pick them. You just pick the most popular. We'll figure out who we really want to see on the court, who's better for business. You know what I mean? So until they figure out exactly what they want this game to be and how they can appease us and give us what we want, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be conflict. Definitely 2 dunks. I watched the nigga miss all his dunks. I watched the nigga miss all his dunks. How do you miss all your dunks? Like, and that was multiple dudes. Like, how? How are you not? And they got a dunk coach. The little stubby dude that kept throwing the alley-oops wrong. The nigga that was the one that was throwing all the bad alley-oops is supposed to be the dunk coach. Since when do they need coaching? Since when do they need him to coach? The most unathletic looking individual to tell a dunk coach. Crazy. And he was throwing the worst alley-oops like garbage. Man, if y'all could, man, listen. These niggas is just giving anybody a job to do something. That's crazy though, man. Yeah, you should only get 2. Matter of fact, until the right people want to be in the dunk contest, it shouldn't be a dunk contest. These niggas are scared. I don't want to hurt my image. LeBron never wanted to be in it. That's what really hurt the dunk contest. LeBron never did it. Mike did it. Dominique did it. Sean Kemp did it. All the premier dunkers did it. Ron Harper did it. Even Kenny Smith was in the dunk contest. And you telling me that Zion can't be in it? And none, like, come on, B. What are you saving it for? When you turn a certain age, it's gone. The athleticism is gone. All of it is gone. You better use it while you can use it. You could get them out your first 3-4 years dunk contest. Then you go off and do something else. Now we don't even want to see them. You know what I mean? But LeBron, I think LeBron not being in the dunk contest is what ruined it. Yeah, McClung was definitely the highlight of All-Star. Him, that and Cade missing all them threes. I don't know how Cade got in the 3-point shootout, but him missing all them threes tickled me. I loved it. But Matt was incredible. You know what I mean? I give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? He did a great job. Jumping over that car is crazy. That wasn't that Blake Griffin jumping over the front. This nigga jumped over the body of the car. And that's crazy for somebody 6'2". That's crazy. And he got clipped on the when he got to the rim by, his leg hit the car. It could have been disastrous, but I'm glad he made it through. It was dope. That's the only highlight. Everything else was garbage. You got Chris Paul listening to Wembanyama. These niggas who gets disqualified from the skills challenge? I'm like, all right, you know what? It's a wrap, man. Yeah. The whole All-Star weekend was garbage. It didn't feel like back in the day, it used to make you feel you wish you was there. I remember watching All-Star weekends wishing I was there. I'm watching All-Star weekends glad I'm at home. Like, nigga, I'm glad I'm not there. There's no way. We used to, man, listen. We used to wish we were there. I remember when Spud won the dunk contest. I was so tight. I was like, how did I miss it? And you ain't got no cable. That's why y'all missed it. But then when they showed it on TV, it was just beautiful to see. Like, you don't have those moments making you wish that you were a part of it. Like, you just glad you're not around it. All our guys look old now. You know what I mean? Shaq looking old. You know what I mean? All the niggas, they look old. They aging crazy. You can't tell the difference between Shaq's era and the 70-year-olds. All them niggas look old in the face. Look like they've been through something. But it is what it is. I'm just hoping that next year they figure something else out, because that playing to 40 is garbage. Like, why would you have 4 teams and y'all play to 40? What kind of shit is that? Who's gonna win MVP? How does that work? You got a mini tournament and nah, man. Nah, it should just be 2 teams, roll the ball out, let them dudes hoop. They should bring back the old school game when they let the dudes that retired play. I remember that in the 80s. They used to have the old timers game. When all the old heads would play. We ain't in the league no more. They come back out for a quick minute. I would love to see KG and Paul Pierce and all them old niggas get back out there for like 30 minutes. That would be hilarious. But that's what it's going to take, man. Because they talk so much about the game. Let's see if they still got it. They still, like, what, 38, 39? They can still hoop. They ain't like they 50. But they got to do something. It's garbage now. I believe so. I think they do need a new commissioner. I think the NBA does need a new commissioner. He's good for business, horrible for the game. Because they're utilizing analytics and algorithms to dictate what should go on the court. You can't have basketball played on paper. You can't tell, you know what I mean? You can't dictate what that level of entertainment and intrigue and competition is supposed to be like because of what you see in numerics on paper. You have to throw that ball on the court and let the bodies hit the floor. It's not even an organic game. They're trying to put this game in like a lab and manufacture intrigue and excitement, and it's never going to happen that way. Those moments happen at the spur of the moment. You know what I mean? We never wanted to miss a Michael Jordan performance. If you ain't had cable, you had to miss it. You just read about it. You know what I'm saying? You missed Dominique dropping 50, or you heard about it. You know what I mean? Now you get to see it, and it looks like it's so manufactured, and we don't get those games. Even when a guy dropped 40, it don't feel like nothing. It's like, yeah, everybody does it. Just like my sense. It's not even about everybody doing it. It's like it just doesn't seem exciting because everybody could drop 40 back in the day. But it just doesn't seem exciting now. Yeah, I don't like how they waited last minute too. Like them waiting last minute to decide whether or not they're gonna play is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Nah, I had to fix something. There's some sounds coming through from downstairs. I don't want to get clipped. But yeah, I think TNT is gonna end up getting a contract again anyway. I mean, that's traditional. You know what I mean? I don't think it's gonna be a problem. It's just right now, and so many people are trying to get a piece of the NBA, not because they like the game, but because enough eyes are on it that they can sell the data to see which commercials can be put up. You know what I mean? I think we're starting to realize what this game is all about. You know what I mean? It's not about the NBA anymore. It's about the data. The NBA is in the business of selling data now, just like the music industry. They're in the business of selling data. That's why they don't care about hit songs as much as they used to. That's why they're not worrying about streaming. That's just that's just to get information, to sell information, and to put forth, you know, their bid to have certain things in place so that they can make as much money as possible with doing the least amount of work. You know what I mean? So I don't think they necessarily care about TNT. TNT is gonna be fine. They'll figure out something. They'll end up getting some games. TBS is they're gonna end up like everybody's gonna get a piece of the NBA. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of time. But right now, NBC got the biggest contract, so they're gonna get the biggest, they're gonna get the biggest look. Hopefully the games are exciting enough, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna be what it used to be. You're bringing in Carmelo Anthony, and it's not the same as having Amar Rashad and everybody that we had in the '90s on NBC. There was a reason, Bob Costas, guys like that. You know what I mean? You're not gonna have those voices, those play-by-play guys. It's not gonna be the same. You know what I mean? It's not going to feel the same. They tried it with players before. You need people who are actually committed to being journalists, who are already like most of these guys that were great as sportscasters came in as writers and had a certain perspective. You bringing in players, they're some of it is opinion, some of it is, that what would they do, but is it entertaining? I don't know if they're going to be entertaining the way it used to be. Like we couldn't miss a game on NBC. I don't think they're going to be able to bring that back, allowing Carmelo and everybody else to come through and be a part of it. Not to say they're not going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be interesting enough to make it what it was. I think TNT is going to end up figuring something out, finding some new talent because they're good with that. They'll be right. They'll be right back where they used to be with no problem. I don't think it matters. I don't think the playoffs matters as much as they could have if they put an emphasis on basketball. Everybody's talking about these situations outside of the lines. So nobody really cares about what's going on the court because everybody's pulling the stories from the situations that they see on the court, but nobody's really respecting the art form of basketball. So we're not getting that basketball conversation to tie us into the game anymore. We just care about what they're going to say when they're off the court or what they're doing off the court. You know what I mean? And it's the basketball game is the backdrop to the conversation now because so many of us are having these conversations and it's oversaturated. And who am I to complain? Because I'm taking advantage of it. But it's kind of hard for you to take it serious now because you have players who are playing and being pushed by the machine to be a personality at the same time. Like Paul George he's having a trash ass season, but he got a podcast and the machine is pushing it. He ain't paying for that shit. The NBA is pushing it. Like there's a lot of money being put in NBA players having a voice because they think that's what's going to make them interesting enough to make us watch the game. No, what we're going to do is wait till after the game to see what you got to say. And a lot of the times they're putting more energy in what they want to talk about, and then instead of playing on the court, we don't remember anything Draymond's been doing on the court since he had a podcast. I don't remember anything Paul George has done since he started a podcast. You know what I mean? It's like the conversation is more interesting than the actual art form now. So it's crazy. Yeah, George is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he definitely washed, but they overpaid for him. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have gave him like that 200 million just for him to want to be a podcaster now, and he's gonna keep that money with a straight face. You know what I mean? I think I'm telling you right now, when LeBron goes, it's gonna be a lockout. They're gonna lock them out, and they're gonna restructure these deals, and these kids are gonna be in. They're gonna be in the 360. Watch. I'm, I want y'all to understand they about the 360 the next generation of basketball players. Watch. Watch. They're going to want all rights in perpetuity off the jump for whatever they invest. And they're going to have to make all, and it's going to get to the point where the players are going to have to make that money back. It ain't going to be the machine going to get the bag. The machine going to do what the machine do. But you're going to have to do something to make that money back and make sure they get it back. They're not going to just hand you 10, 15 million a year to be the seventh man and you good. Nah, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to kiss some babies. You're going to have to travel. You're going to have to campaign. Yeah, it's like that. Oh, yes. You know what it is? The fact that they empowered the refs to the point where they can police the game without like no questioning. It's like I said before, they're like the drug dealer's girlfriend. She could talk shit, she could do whatever she want because she got the backing of the machine and the muscle behind her. She could be out of pocket, but if she gonna lie or be wrong, they gonna go to war on that wrong and that lie. And that's how the NBA is. Regardless of whatever the refs do, they're gonna go to war for it. And mind you, years later, you find out the referees was getting paid. And then the NBA looked stupid in the face. They thought Rasheed Wallace was bugging. He kept saying it. Then it comes out. That's exactly what was happening. How many referees was getting paid? How many referees are still benefiting financially from the way the game is being, policed and called? It ain't like they can't sports bet. It ain't like they can't make decisions or give information. We don't know what they're doing. They don't even have to have a press conference. I've been saying for years, they should have a press conference. There's no way you should police the game the way that there's no way you should make the calls that you make. But they're trained to police the game a certain way, and they think it's going to make it entertaining. It's not entertaining for us as fans. Now, if you bet on the game, yeah, it's going to be exciting because you got skin in the game. But if you're a regular person just watching, it's not what it used to be. It's not 98. 98 was a big year for sports, period. You know what I mean? It's not 98, 97. It's not those years that made you want to watch every activity on the court. It's crazy. I can't wait for next season, though. I think I'm more excited for next season than anything. Yeah. I think as a whole, until they decide to allow the game to be the game it used to be organically, we're never going to be attached to it the way we were. You know what I mean? Like it looks too orchestrated. You know what I mean? I noticed that when I was going to games in the early 2000s. Like you can just watch it and see the rhythm of it. If you've ever been to a play or the orchestra or the symphony or opera, there's a rhythm to stage plays. There's a rhythm. Even when you go to like a Tyler Perry event, like it's a rhythm to it. You watch the NBA, there's like this weird rhythm. It's almost predictable. And that's not what you see on the court outside. And that's not what you participate in when you play. There's a big disconnect now. I think all like there is no way they're gonna continue to profit the way they're profiting if people just start doing other shit. Like I think we're the last generation of diehard basketball fans. There are people who kind of like it. You know what I mean? They kind of want to talk about it because it's profitable. They kind of want to be involved because it seems cool. But it's not a lot of people who played or want to play or who are excited. Like after games, we couldn't wait to get outside and hoop. Now it's like you watch a game, it's like, all right, you don't see no kids outside hooping at all. You know what I mean? After NCAA games, after college games on Saturdays or Sundays, we used to go outside and hoop, go at it. Now you don't see that, and it's getting thinner and thinner. And kids don't want to imitate ball players no more. They don't want to be ball players no more. They're not. It's something to do. It's a hustle. It looks more like a hustle now than a dream for most guys. Like back in the day, guys dreamt of being in the NBA. Now it's just that's a hustle. If I make it there, I make it there, but I'm gonna make as much as I can along the way, and then I'm gonna keep it moving. You know what I mean? They're just monetizing skill sets in hopes of getting there and making as much as they can, and then they're gonna keep it moving. The love of the game is gone. Yeah, they definitely want to be rappers. That's definitely what happened in New York. That's definitely what happened in New York. We lost a lot of ball players who just because they wanted to be rappers. I remember a time when it was like nobody wanted to be a rapper. Ball players were athletes were ahead of the rappers. You know what I mean? And the hustlers. Unless you was a boss or something. But other than that, the average hustler and the average ball player, shit. Way cooler than the average hustler. Way cooler. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I just peeped out one of the one-on-one leagues. Them niggas go hoop. I ain't know it was like that. I knew it was interesting, but yeah, that seems a lot more interesting than the NBA at times. Like I watched a couple of those one-on-one games recently. There's a couple of guys that are nice, super nice, and they going all out for like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and now the NBA is trying to take that idea. They're trying to have a they're trying to have one-on-one, skills competition, in the NBA All-Star Weekend, which is stupid because nobody's gonna beat Kyrie. You just gonna mess up and bruise a lot of egos, and then they're not gonna want to play. I think that's a bad idea. I think they should just invest in the league actually, because they actually have a one-on-one league. I would invest in that shit. I would definitely invest in that one-on-one league. That shit is fire. Get it to 50,000. You know what I mean? At one point they had one that was like 100. You know what I mean? The homie from Chicago that used to play at TCC. I forgot it. He had like a 51-inch vertical. That was like the last big one-on-one. That was like for 100 grand in the mid 2000s. McPherson was his name. He ended up playing for DePaul. I think he lost it in the championship or he won it. But I think they should invest in that. What's up, B? They might have to because that's the only way they're gonna keep it interesting. You know what I mean? Because once LeBron leaves and Kevin Durant leaves, like this league is gonna be naked, B. It's gonna be naked. Because once they all dwindle out, fucking Westbrook, Harden, all the Cali. When all the Cali leave, because most of the players that are in the league are from Cali. Once the Cali dudes leave, then you're gonna see it's gonna be like, wow, that's damn. They were holding it down for a long ass time, and now you left with it's gonna look interesting. It's gonna be competitive, but it's gonna look like some. Watch, college might pop up and end up being the premier basketball situation. Oh, definitely. They are. I think that's the nature of the beast now. The coaches along the way allowed them to get away with shit. The NBA has allowed them to get away with shit. There's no accountability. You know what I mean? They're not taking it serious as a profession. It's just something to do because the starting five carry the weight, or that one star player, he's carrying the weight for the whole team. So one guy is being held accountable while everybody else gets to be mediocre and do whatever they want. You know what I mean? And kids are cool with that. As long as I get my 15, 16 million. Because think about it. Where else are they going to make that type of money? Being half-ass part-time workers. You know what I mean? They're not really going hard, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? They really not. They doing just enough to get paid. They figured out the hustle of as long as I'm one of the best on my team, I'm good. And it's guaranteed paper. Long as I'm better than at least 5 guys on this team, I'm gonna get paid. They gotta pay me. It's just getting to the league. You know what I mean? That's the hardest part. But even in college, now you got the NIL plus the pool. Like VCU players are getting paid $384,000 a piece just to go to. Yo, can you imagine getting a scholarship and they paying you $30,000 a month to play college ball? And you ain't not even this ain't Duke or North Carolina where there's a heritage of winning. You at VCU, all you gotta do is make the NCAA tournament, and you're successful. That's not hard to do for VCU. Man, listen, I was born at the wrong time. I was born at the wrong time. Exactly. You should be paid for your exactly. You should be paid for your production. Exactly. The only problem is the NBA is making so much money that when you break down the crumbs, they still look like mountains compared to everybody else. Like our crumbs look like crumbs. The NBA only got but so many employees. Like they're busting it down, what, 500 players? The staffs with the staffs and the players, you might be breaking down every fucking individual team's probably averaging like $3 billion a year, and you busting that down amongst man, that's oh, you every team busting down 3 billion. You got 15 productive employees, maybe 16. You know what I mean? On the court, maybe, and then you got the coaches and all. Like you, these niggas is getting paid ridiculous. It's just not a big staff. You know what I mean? So they're getting paid and they're taking it for granted. I think they're gonna restructure all these contracts to the point where it look like regular jobs. I think that's gonna scare the shit out of them because if they got to go to work at 50 because they blew the money, it's gonna be crazy. I think players still want to play with LeBron. I mean, it gets you the limelight you need. It helps you with your brand. It's easy money. It's easy money playing with LeBron. You just can't want to be a star though, because there's only one star. But you can hoop and get paid, especially if he like you. If he like you, yeah, he gonna make sure you get paid. You just ain't gonna be a star. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, he gonna get credit for it. What do you think? Like, think about it. If we in our 20s, an old girl came to us, mind you, she got a rep. If you talking about Jalen Green, his BM got a rep. These niggas know about her. You know what I mean? Like the NBA players know about her. So she was gonna trap one of these young niggas. She was gonna catch one of them. She was bound to catch one of them. I agree. I agree to the point where they're gonna compete with each other. And I always said it was gonna be more competitive when the young guys come, when the next group of guys come in, but it's not gonna be entertaining. They don't have personalities. They don't have charisma. They don't have star power. They don't have any of the things that'll make you want to watch them play other than the fact that they don't like each other and they want to compete. Because they all coming for money. Like they're not coming into the NBA as I'm first generation money. A lot of these kids are second generation, maybe third generation paper. So they're coming in and they're getting money in college. So they're coming in fed. They're not coming in hungry, trying to prove themselves to get paid and get their family out the trenches. They already out. They're just playing because it's something to do after college and they just got drafted in a lot of cases because they already got paper, especially the top 5, top 10 dudes. The lottery guys, they're already millionaires before they come into the NBA. But I don't think it's going to be as entertaining. I think it's going to be competitive though. But I don't. They're going to have to figure out how to make that as as uh as entertaining as they can. The kids just don't have it. It's like they don't have personalities. They don't know how to talk. They mumble. Like they just lack so many skills that they should have as young men. But when you skip college, you skip those classes where you learn about marketing, you learn about presentation, you learn about image shifting, You learn about all these different things in school, but once you're on that stage, you got to perform. You know what I mean? A lot of times they don't want to put the microphone in front of these kids because they don't know how to speak or present themselves, you know, as a brand. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of them stay out the way. They'll present themselves on camera on their phone because there's a freedom. You don't have to be as professional when you're talking on your phone than when you're in front of the microphone, when you can't say those 13 words on ABC or NBC or whatever network. On social media, you can say pretty much whatever you want. You can be as profound as you like, and there's a comfort there. They're not professional enough to present themselves in a way that's going to make us interesting because they're not interesting people. They have no life experience. They have no adventure. All they did was go to the gym, go back to the house. Go to the gym, come back to the house. You know what I mean? There was no trials and tribulation getting home. It was just you got into a chauffeur car, you went back to a nice house, nice neighborhood. Not that that's a bad thing, it's a good thing, but those little stories in between what you did to get to and from games and what made you the person and player that you are, that's what pulls us in because we identify with some of those stories. I don't I don't even think it's so much the speech classes. It's they don't read anymore. Like these niggas don't read, they don't write anymore. Like they're not intellectuals anymore. So you can like even if you put them in a class, it's like it's not gonna stick because they won't know how to present it right. Like you had certain guys that just had personalities. Like everybody was a personality. There was a time when the NBA had multiple personalities. Like and it was every guy was interesting. You know what I mean? All them dudes was interesting. Now it's like, and we watched them grow up. So it's like, we know Shorty lame. He been lame his whole life. You know what I mean? We watched them get turned down by girls. We watched them, you know what I mean? We've watched them grow. So it's like there's nothing they can tell us about their life that we haven't seen to make them any more interesting than what they are. You know what I mean? We see the parents, like all of it. It's like we're too familiar with it. Like some of these people back in the day, we didn't hear about until unless it was either in Street and Smith or on TV. Like we didn't know too much about anybody until they got to the league and got interviewed. Then you saw what their life was like. But up until that point, it was like you just heard about them. Now you're just too comfortable with everybody. I'm hearing people thinking that the Lakers going to go to the finals. If the machine supports that and the refs call the way they're going to call in the playoffs, all the Lakers need is a center, and I think the machine is going to back them. And I think that's one of my biggest fears because we're going to know how corrupt it is if they get to the finals. I don't know. I think even if the Lakers get I think they're gonna get treated with certain privileges in a certain way. I think they're gonna go as far as that the core can help them. I don't think it's gonna fall on Luca and LeBron. I think it's gonna fall on the support. If they get adequate support in the playoffs, the referees are gonna give them every green light. They're gonna get them there every call, and they're gonna get an opportunity to make a run for whatever reason. Because LeBron is a cash cow and Luca's a cash cow. They're gonna figure some shit out. I'm hearing rumblings that a lot of people are favoring them to go to the finals coming out the West, which sounds crazy. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. It's definitely it's definitely some interesting shit going on. I'm hearing multiple people. I'm hearing not just on the street. I'm talking about a lot of these podcasters, they know something. They know something. They're picking the Lakers to come out the West. They're saying if they get certain matchups, they can come out the West. And they're going off of Kyrie and Luca. how that worked. Of course, Dallas is a better team and had better players, but LeBron is going to get the machine is behind them. They're going to figure something out. They're going to figure something out. If they come out the West, I would not be surprised. I think Denver should have made it last year. I wish Denver should have made it out the West last year. That was the match I wanted to see. I wanted if Boston was going to come out the East, I wanted them to be matched up against. I don't think they would have beat Denver in the 7-game series. I don't think they would have beat Denver. But Denver didn't have a bench. They didn't have enough support to make the run. Minnesota, they fell apart. They had it easy. All you had to do was stop either Luka or Kyrie, and you're going to the finals. That would have been more interesting than what we saw. Now I don't trust I don't trust the Celtics at all. I don't trust the Celtics or Cleveland. I don't trust the Celtics to make it to the finals because they won a championship this year, right? After the 8 year, you're talking about an 8-9 year buildup, right? They win a championship and nobody cares. Like nobody cares. They had the parade last year. It wasn't like nobody treated them. They're not even getting treated like champions right now. People are still doubting Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like they're still doubting them. And it's not just the fans. I'm talking ex NBA players are doubting them. How do you doubt somebody who's the Finals MVP or a kid who's like what the first Laker to average 30 a game, and he didn't get it. Ain't getting no MVP votes, not even in consideration to win the MVP, which is unheard of. Like I don't trust the Celtics at all. I don't think the machine is supporting the Celtics. I think the machine is supporting LeBron. They got these big deals coming up. They got to make some money. They got to make it interesting. Because I don't think we're gonna watch the finals like that. We'll watch it just for the sake of watching it, but I don't think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be the environment that they want it to be to make us want to buy shit. They hope, like they prey on our excitement and interest of shop. Because it's coming down to the data. They want us to buy shit while watching the game, go shopping before games, go shopping after games. If it don't inspire us to want to go buy some shit, the game was for nothing. It was a 2-hour commercial about nothing. Until OKC makes a run, I don't think anybody's gonna trust them. Shea is the truth, though. Shea Alexander's the truth. I just until they make a run, until they make a run. Like it's one of them situations where you got to actually make a run before people believe it. But then it's like we all have our own separate teams. So if our team ain't making a run, ain't gonna be no energy behind it. And most fan bases don't have the energy to make it interesting. You know what I mean? Like outside of maybe one or two fan bases, I don't think the world is gonna watch a group of people celebrate their champion and want to be a part of it. They ain't but like one or two teams that could win a chip right now, and everybody will celebrate that, or even be interested in the celebration vaguely. You know what I mean? It don't like what is the NBA gonna look like in a year though? Like those windows of opportunity are opening and closing so fast. I remember when you had 3 years and you had a legit 3 years and you had time. Now those windows open and close so rapidly, and players are going from coast to coast so frequently. You only like if you don't win immediately, you're not gonna keep your team together. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own agenda. Like I think it's getting to the point where if these players don't have a sense of urgency and want to win right now, it's not gonna happen for a lot of teams. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be, you know what I mean, just waiting and hoping. And fan bases now, everybody's losing interest. If they don't feed Pascal, if the Pacers don't feed Pascal, they don't have a shot. If they don't figure out how to use Miles Turner, it's going to be tougher than it was last year. Because if they relying on Tyler Haliburton, it's going to be tough for the Pacers. He screwed up the first half of their season, just trying to get his jump shot ready. Because he went to the Olympics and he ain't have a chance to work on his game. I don't know why he went to the Olympics. I think that's what messed this team up. What messed the Pacers up is Tyler Haliburton going to the Olympics. He should have just worked on his game and stayed home. I know you want to play in the Olympics, but you could always play in 2028. That 2024 was LeBron and all them guys. That was there. Let them do that. You cost your team a shot at the championship possibly. But they had to wait a whole, 2-3 months for his jump shot to get right and for him to get back in the swing of things. They look decent, but they're not what they were last year. Now, I don't think anybody's beating the Knicks coming out the East this year. I don't think anybody's beating the Knicks coming out this year. Their starting five is crazy. And you can take a couple of the guys from the starting five and have them come off the bench. You can have OG come off the bench. He has a personality that'll accommodate that. You can have, Josh Hart come off the bench. If you really want to win a chip in the playoffs, depending on the game situation. You could pull that off and have the second unit look better than it's ever been. But they definitely got a weak bench. And Tom Thibodeau got that he'll run them into the ground. You know what I mean? He got that Nick Nurse shit with him where he'll just play the starting five. But I don't see the Pacers beating the Knicks. I think the Knicks are gonna come out the East. I don't know for Cat is playing good. There's no answer for Karl Anthony Towns. And people keep forgetting Jalen Brunson is a beast. There's no point guard. I don't see a point guard in the East that can stand toe to toe with him. You can't say Dame. He keep dropping 40 on Dame. You can say Drew Holiday, but if the matchup doesn't fall into line and they can get past the Celtics, they ain't got to worry about nothing. The Celtics got to win enough games to even get to that point, depending on the matchups. The Celtics got lucky last year. They had an easy road. A lot of those battles got there before the Celtics even got to the Eastern Conference Finals. The biggest battles was everybody else. They get the wrong matchup. The Celtics ain't going nowhere. They going home. I trust the Knicks, though. I think the Knicks will come out the East. Nah, Cade is not the best. Shit. Lamelo is the best point guard in the East. Lamelo is the best point guard in the East. It ain't even close. It ain't even close. Lamelo is the best point guard in the East. It's not even close. Cade is nice. Cade made some real big progress. He got faster, footwork cleaner. He hooping. I give him that. He's a 6'8" point guard. I still have him in that Jalen Rose type of category though. You know what I mean? They're gonna end up putting him on the 2 guard. They're gonna get a real traditional point. They're gonna put him on the wing, let him run the 2 or the 3, and then they're gonna start cooking. But until then, he's gonna have his Grant Hill moments. But I don't think he's better than LaMelo at point. LaMelo is the best point guard, easy. Because the reality is, I've watched guys like Cade when your father's the coach or you have that growth spurt first. So imagine you got some type of coordination as a guard. You want to play point, but you're really not a point, but they can put you at point because you can do everything a point guard does, kinda at 6'4", and you're fucking 14, 15. So you're bigger than the average guard, average point guard. Now you get to the NBA, you're 6'8". You're still bigger than the average guard. You don't need all the layers that they have to their game. You just need to polish your skill sets. So you look good in comparison to shorter guys who have to do more to produce what you're producing at 6'8". Technically, he's a 2 or 3 combo. But you can't put him at the 2 or 3 because he's too slow. He can't guard anybody. So you put him at the safest position, which is point guard. He's not athletic enough to stop anybody, but he's long and lanky enough to be a problem offensively. And he weaponized enough of his game to be a headache. So if you drop 30 on him or 25, he can still get his 26, 8 rebounds, maybe 10 assists. And it still look good compared to your numbers. But I think it's just one of them things where he's a bigger guard type, and the safest place to put him is point guard because he can't stop any of the twos. He can't stop a three. He's never going to stop a four. We're not even thinking about five. He's safest playing with point guards. And it's justified because he got enough of a guard set. He's all right. Cade has a different game than Scotty. Like, I think if you're going to compare them, I think they cancel each other out. Because Scotty can do everything Cade could do, and he also is stronger and can post up. And he's not posting up guards, he's posting up everything. It's just that Cade is a better scorer. Cade has always been a better scorer and a better shooter and a better one-on-one player than Scotty. Scotty is a playmaker. He relies on the stardom of others at times because he can't. There's but so much he can do offensively. He can't call it every night because that's just not his skill set. He can get his, but depending on the game plan the other team implements to stop him, is going to limit portions of his offensive game. So he might have to defer to other people. Cade got the green light. He's a good enough offensive player to constantly have the green light and do what he does, whether he has a good shooting night or not. I wouldn't say he's that much better if you're saying better at all. I think they cancel each other out with the different things that they can do. But Cade looks more appeasing in this style of basketball. If it was a more physical style of basketball like the 90s, Cade is done. And it would cater more to Scotty. So it's just a matter of the nature of the game. And if they allow more physical play next season and they allow Scotty to hand check and use his power more, what's the conversation? We're talking about a kid who can be an all-star and defensive player of the year, possibly. Easily. Easily. I mean, in the playoffs it's about the matchup. I think a lot of these teams are shook. Depending on who you are, like if they certain teams are shook, they're gonna give up 2 games just off of fear. You know what I mean? Boston, I think they got Boston number. I think they got Cleveland's number. Because just off the fifth, I think they're the most feared team in the East. That's why I believe they can come out the East. They're feared by everybody. If you think they can beat you, they're gonna beat you. You got to stand toe to toe with them. I think by the time teams start standing toe to toe with the Knicks, they could be down 2 games. I think that situation, like when your back is up against the wall down 2, that might force certain teams to step to the situation. But I think they're gonna give up 2 games. And the Knicks, I believe they can close out a series. I think they can close out a series against anybody. But you're gonna give up 2 games just off of fear. I know Jalen Brunson can get you a game. Cat can get you a game. Josh Hart and OG could get you a game. You know what I mean? Like and the rest, they could all come together and have that iconic performance for the fourth one. But I know for a fact, I believe they could beat anybody in the East. I don't in the 7 game series going into the Garden, it's gonna be tough. Cade does score in every. That's they. Cade is supposed to score in everybody. He's 6'8". He's 6'8". I don't know too many 6'8" with guard skills that can't score on just about anybody. You know what I mean? But we know he can't guard nobody. We know he can't really guard nobody. He's great offensively. He's always been great offensively. High school, college, now. He's gonna have it's more to it. We're gonna see when that pressure in Detroit get on his back and they expected him to win. Let's see if he can pull it off. I mean, Depends on what you define as a good defender. There's no guard in the NBA he could stop. I mean, they can't stop him either, but he definitely can't stop any of the point guards. He can't stop anybody. I don't think he can stop anybody defensively. I don't think Cade is overrated. I think honestly, he's just not as good as what we expect in the number one pick. He has no athleticism, right? He cleaned up his footwork, got a little faster. He's not that he doesn't have there's not a wow factor in this game. You know what I mean? He's fundamentally sound. He's consistent, which is beautiful. You don't really see that in a lot of young players at this stage. He's just missing that athleticism. If he had athleticism, yeah, he'd probably be top 3 in the league easy. At 6'8", doing what he can do with a little bit with a little bit more athleticism, it'd be crazy. It's just that he plays below the basket at 6'8". He's a 6'8" guy that plays below the basket. Cade has a good team. You can't say Cade wins. He got veterans. He got more than enough veteran help on that team. He's not really carrying that team. He got a lot of veteran help, and he's missing one guy. Oh, he definitely reads the game. I'll give him that. Got a point. You definitely got a point. You definitely got a point. But I think Ben was better. I'll say that though. Like when they was talking about Ben, Ben was nice. Ben was better than Cade. You know, when Ben had it going, Ben was nice. Ben was nice. I don't know what happened, man. Ever since he lost that girl, I think after he lost that girl, that was it for him. I'll probably do lives after the games next season because I got to work now. My work schedule. By the time I come home, I'll be exhausted. Yeah, there was a point in time when Ben Simmons was like hands down a problem, and then he lost that girl, and then everything changed. You can't even put Cade in that stratosphere. Like Ben was one of them ones for a little bit. I thought we didn't want to make the plan. I thought everybody kept saying we should tank. So we tanking or we trying to get in? I'm trying to figure out if we tanking. I want us to just go ahead. If we can get a top 5 pick, we might as well do that. This season is a wrap. I agree 100%. Yeah, this season is over with. Nobody cares. I think everybody's gonna start caring starting next season because there's gonna be a lot of possibilities for teams that had to sacrifice some pieces to really make some moves. There's a lot of teams that need a do-over. There's a lot of teams that need a do-over. I think next season is going to be the season. I think coming off the Olympics, I don't think a lot of players were prepared for the season the way that they should have been because either they were preparing for the Olympics or just taking time off. I don't think anybody was really prepared to handle business. I think next year is going to be a better season than this one. Yo, how y'all feel about the organization saying that they want to make BR All-Star gift? That shit caught me off guard. I've never heard an organization say that about a player. They wanted them to be an All-Star again. So that means we're committed to whatever it takes. Of course, we got to win, but I'm more or less like, yo, what do we got to sacrifice? You know what I mean? Whose progress is going to be sacrificed for him to get those opportunities? I'm with it either way, but I think somebody's progress is going to be stymied in order for him to get those opportunities. He's going to need at least 19 shots a game to be an all-star again. We just got to go 50, 500. If we can win 50-50 before the all-star break, he's going in. They already campaigning for him. Yeah, that threw me off too. I wasn't expecting that. I've never heard a team say that. I've never heard a team say that. That's kind of dope though. You know what I mean? That you want him to be the best. But what is that? What does that look like? Somebody's future is going to be either in jeopardy or it's going to be slowed down. The progress is going to be slowed down because he's instant gratification. We put him out there, he gets his 19 shots, however that comes. You know what I mean? With the team that we got, I hope we don't trade RJ because everybody keeps talking about sacrificing RJ, which is crazy. We got to keep everybody together and see how this looks. How was RJ disrespected? He is the best player. It's not hard to. Yeah, he's definitely the best player. He's definitely the best player. But now we, now that the pecking order is getting situated, I don't listen. I don't want to hear no crying when it works out the way we saying it's gonna work out. We know how the story ends. Everybody's gonna lean toward the guy that can get it done, not the guy you're hoping and praying could get it done. Whoever's getting it done, I know for a fact BI, RJ, and Emmanuel Quickly are gonna get off and run it. And there's gonna be conversations about who's the fourth man of the group. And I love Scotty, but with those three guys getting opportunities to score, and we need scoring, he keeps up, or I'm interested to see what the conversations are going to be. I want to see if people keep it 100 or start coddling him. Because the reality is, we got three guys that can listen. We got three guys that can score. We got him that can do everything. Like, we got a good team. We got a good opportunity. I think it's going to be exciting though. I can't wait for next season. I can't wait for next season. Whatever happens, I'm gonna let everything play out this year. But next season is definitely, once we see who we draft and see how all that work out. If it looks like a home run was hit by Masai, they're gonna have to give him a new contract. Give that man whatever he want, because we can sneak in there and do some things. Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Scotty is good right where he's at. He's just gonna have to utilize all of his game in a different way. We don't really need him to score that much now. If he could deal with that, that's cool. You know what I mean? If he understands that the scoring pressure is taken off of him, there's no pressure on him now to score. Now he can be an all-around player, and we can appreciate that type of game. But I don't think people are going to give him that fanfare. A lot of attention is going to go towards BI. That's going to be a fact. That's why I didn't understand when I kept hearing that people were saying that the deal that we gave Brandon was going to impede on whether or not we can keep RJ. Like, niggas got money. Like, if it means going into the luxury, whatever it means, these are billionaires. Like, to be honest with you, they don't give a fuck about the luxury tax. It's just they just want to keep it honest, and they don't want a guy using all his money. They don't want anybody to Jerry Jones the situation and just spend whatever it takes to get the best players. It's like an honor among thieves type of thing. But if it means going into luxury tax or whatever it is to keep RJ, do the shit. Fuck it. If you're gonna do anything like that or come close to doing anything like that, RJ is worth it. I can understand that argument. I can understand, but they're trying to make. I think a lot of people are saying they played a similar position. When in actuality, I think Mike and Scotty played similar positions. Joe Dumars and Isaiah played similar positions. You've had a lot of guys be on the court with guys that can do similar things. Doesn't mean you got to trade another guy to make space for something mythical or some outrageous pick or player that can fit when you already got one. Like you can't find another 20-point per game player that can fit right now. I think RJ fits perfectly. He's already here. He can get us 20 a night. You got three. Yo, remember when Boston had 4 players averaging 20? It does work. We could have 4 players averaging 20 and have a solid bench. I want to see how it works out. I want to see how it works out. I think IQ the injury. I think the injuries with IQ were interesting. Like the fact that he was out for so long. I don't know if his injuries call for that though. For him to be out that long, like he was out like he had major knee surgery. I think they could have brought him back, but I think, like you say, it plays into the tanking concept. You let him heal and let him take as long as he needs to to heal up because you want him to be 100%. So that might play into the tanking concept to a certain extent. But he could definitely hoop. I just question his ability to be a scorer and a passer at the same time. Now he's gonna have to be more of a passer because he's gonna have to give up the rock, especially in the half court set. He can't just come down and shoot a three and think guys are gonna rebound. He's gonna have to. It's gonna have to be a set play, and it's going to be our first, and then from there everything else will get figured out. I agree. Yeah, yep, yeah, yeah. I wish we would have kept Pascal too. I wish we would have kept Pascal too. It's like we always want to look for a younger version of a star player we had, as if they're going to be able to be as productive. We got lucky with this one though. I think we got lucky. We got lucky with Brandon Ingram. We definitely got lucky with this one. It doesn't always work out like this. Like you don't always luck up and lose a Pascal and then end up getting a Brandon Ingram. Like a lot of times you got to bite the bullet for. Like it hasn't even been a year. It's been what? It's been a year. It's been a year since we let go of Pascal, but we ended up getting the player that we needed to replace that production. I don't think we necessarily wanted to replace Pascal, but the production, some people wanted somebody younger to do it at a cheaper price. And you're saying, 3 years, 120, that's definitely a cheaper price. Because Pascal probably could have got 200 or 189 from us. So if people are saying we saved some money, cool. But if you'd have told me a year ago this shit was gonna work out like this, I wouldn't have believed it. Yeah. I don't know who started it. I don't know who started it, but I want to see. I want to see when the tide turns and this Scotty that's on the chopping block. Listen. When we put Scotty under that microscope, it better add up. Because if it don't, I'm cutting on the grill. The same way I showed him love is the same way I'm gonna put him on that grill. Chop his ass right up. He got an opportunity to be a star. You got to take advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of it, listen, we got to do what we got to do. Scotty gonna get this work for sure. Nah, some people are saying that being that we got Brandon, it puts RJ's contract in jeopardy. And then they're trying to make it seem like they play the same position. He's not gonna get touches. It makes no sense to keep him, and all of all the nonsensical shit. They even started writing articles about it, saying that RJ is in the same situation he was with the Knicks and all this other shit. It makes no sense. RJ should stay. There should be no reason to let go of that guy. There's no reason. Him and BI will work out perfectly. Perfectly. I say keep both. Are we gonna let anybody go? I'm just saying. we understand. We understand that we gotta let anybody go. If there's a conversation about getting pieces and making moves, we got an ace in the hole. We definitely got an ace in the hole. If we really need some pieces and we want to make a move, we definitely got an ace in the hole. Definitely got an ace in the hole. And it's not RJ. We got a big ace in the hole. Other teams would give up an arm and a leg for Scotty. They'll give us what we want. If we dangle that even as a conversation, if it doesn't work out, or if it's looking like he doesn't want to be here, or it's looking like that thing that we had with him has run its course. Because everybody ain't gonna be here forever. You know what I mean? Everybody, all the champions, if all the champions are going, I don't trust that anybody gonna stay here until they stay here. And there's no guarantees. The same way everybody else was getting traded, he could get traded too. That's a fact. Just like everybody else, he gonna have to produce. If you don't want that to happen, he's gonna have to produce. And if he don't produce, that contract is big enough to get us some shit we need. We can get a power forward. We can get another guard. We can get some bench. We can do some shit. There's a reason why they gave him that deal. They ain't just give him that $200 million just because they. Yeah, right. we that's an ace in the hole. I know an ace in the hole when I see one, and I like Scotty, and I would love for him to stay on this team, but he gonna have to play his way here. Like we put him on a pedestal. Now he got to prove that he belong. We can give him, but we can do everything but play for him. And he's gonna have to be a consistent all-star caliber player. You can't show up today and be motivated by red velvet. You can't be motivated one game and then take 3-4 games off. He's gonna have to produce. The pressure's on. The pressure's on, or he's on the clock. That's just the truth. But there's a lot of real talk. There's a lot of people that make money off of talking about Scotty. That made a career off of that. What they gonna do when he leave? And he goes, and that slipper comes off, and he goes back to regular. Like Masai was the fairy godfather that made him a star. He got the cosign from the top executive. That's what made him a star. Not his. Let's be clear on something. He got co-signed the way Jay-Z was co-signing niggas to be on the rock. That's what it looked like to me. A superstar co-signed you. So you look like a star next to a star. But at some point, it got to add up. And every year, we're going to have to calculate it. And if it don't add up, we're going to have to speak to the truth. I'm saying if it's working out, then it works out. If it's not working out, there's a reality that has to be conversated about. Who's the problem? Why isn't it working out? Can he play a subordinate role after being put on a pedestal? A lot of people can't do that. You know what I mean? Like he's at the top of the top, face of a franchise, all-star, rookie of the year, got the bag, got the prestige, got the perks. Now everything shifts. As crazy as it may sound, when he got here, it shifted for everybody else when he got rookie of the year. Now, after the completion of everybody's departure, it shifted for him. Ironically, it's karma. He's going to have to play through it. There's not a lot in his game that tells me that his ego will allow him to deal with it the way it has to. He's young. Like I know how I would feel if it was me to go from being the man to now, oh shit, now what's the role? What do I do? Anything less than being a man will bother you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like he's a man with an ego, with pride. That's going to hurt him at some point. He's going to feel, and if he has one or two bad games, he may go into his feelings. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Nah, that's not a good deal. That's a horrible deal. I think the only thing that they'll give up for Scotty will probably be a power forward, an all-star caliber power forward or something. Like they're not giving up any guards or anything like that. You know what I mean? It'll be like a 2 or 3 game trade, but we light years away from that. We got to see how it works out. I don't think anybody's trading a superstar of that caliber for Scotty. That would be crazy. I think we got the answer. I think we could beat Orlando. Like if everything pans out and the team is the team, I think we could beat them in a 7 game series. Because they rely so much on their second unit, right? So what if we take away the second unit's production, their starting five, it puts more weight on their starting five, and there's only one basketball. Paolo is going to get the rock. Franz is going to get the rock. That's not. I don't know if that's enough to beat us if we play in the way we're supposed to play with 3 guys that can score on the perimeter. Scotty being Scotty, the all-around player. Jakoperto, guys coming off the bench. It's going to be tough because we're going to have too many weapons. I always have a problem with his name. I just call him Esco. I think we're gonna be dangerous. Once if we could ever figure out how to protect the 3 point line, I think we'll be fine. Because it's gonna force teams to really start playing basketball. If we can't figure that shit out, it's gonna be ugly for us. Because we give up way too many open threes. And watching this year's 3 point shooting contest, man, listen. If those are the best 3 point shooters in the NBA or among the best, shit. I like Norm. Like I genuinely like Norm. But shit, it was ugly. That competition, looking at everybody's form, they can shoot. They're like game time shooters, situational shooters. You know what I mean? It's like one of them things where if they got to shoot regularly on a regular basis, back to back to back, the truth comes out. They get to dip and dab and let other guys be productive and get good opportunities and good looks. So it looks like everybody can shoot. The reality is, if that's the best the NBA got, shit, shit. You're good looking out. I appreciate that. T-Man, I appreciate that. Good looking out. Everybody's form look weird. Everybody's form look weird. Everybody's form look weird. I'm sitting, I'm like, yo, these are the best. I remember, like, you watch Bird, Craig Hodges, and all these other guys, Mark Price. The form was crispy, sharp, consistent. It wasn't a lot of leaning to the left. It was like straight up and down. It was just professional. It just looked, it was interesting. But then again, those 3-point shots that they make are situational. A lot of basketball situational. So if you knock them down, X amount of percentage, in those situations that you're in, I get it. But when you're saying a shooter can shoot no matter what. Like when Steph shoot, Steph is a shooter. Clay is a shooter. Those type of guys are just, watching everybody else was crazy. If that's what the NBA is, like, it's gonna be interesting. When Steph leave, that 3-point shit is out the window. But they gotta let Gradey in the what you call it though. He's gonna have to shoot a higher percentage than he is right now. I think my main problem with Gradey is that when guys get physical with him, his jump shot isn't as consistent, and he can't play through that. Like once he plays through that initial contact, because guys like putting their hands on him and playing physical with him, we'll get to see him rise to the point where we can see him in a 3-point shooting contest. I like Grady's form. It's consistent. I want to see what's his name battle. I want to see battle in the 3-point contest. I think that would have been dope. I don't think they're gonna trade Miles Turner. If we get Miles Turner, we would have to figure out a way to make him believe in his game again. You know what I mean? Because right now it's looking like he's given up. Like you watch him play, he can do more and be more, but it's like he's just accepting whatever role they give him. It's like whatever, man. I'm just gonna play this out and keep it moving. He's actually one of those ingredients they need to flourish in order for them to make a run. But if they're not feeding him the rock and Tyrese is taking all the shots, then it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna trade him for Jakob Poeltl. If they do, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. But then we might have to pay him. I think he's getting paid a little bit of paper. And then it's like, are we gonna, you know what I mean? Are we gonna use him? How are we gonna use him? If we allow him to shoot threes and be the Karl Anthony Town type of center, I think we can get away with it. But I don't think they're gonna trade him. I don't think too many teams want to trade with fucking Masai anymore. I don't think anybody wants to trade with Masai. I think they're over it already. they don't want to trade with that guy at all. That's a good question. That's definitely a good question. What is keeping them for? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. He should. I would, because he's an older guy. I would be putting him out there the same way you putting out Abaji. I'll be putting out Battle. I mean, they're the same age. This dude was in college like 9 years. He's 23 years old. Put him out there. We gave him the deal. That jump shot is for real. He can shoot. We gotta put him out there and let him shoot and get used to being in these arenas. And I just found out who's the shooter behind, what's his name? Lethal shooter. Craig Hodges. Craig Hodges is the one that worked with Lethal Shooter. If you can't get Lethal Shooter, find that 62-year-old shooting guard, Craig Hodges, and get him to work on your jump shot. I promise you. Like I would pay that. I would pay Craig Hodges whatever he needs for my jump shot to become consistent and the way it need to be. I didn't know Craig Hodges was the reason Lethal Shooter. I didn't know they worked out together. That's crazy. I would send Battle to Craig Hodges. After this season, if I'm Battle with that jump shot, I would go right to Craig Hodges. I would go right to Craig Hodges. That will change his whole career. Whole career. I would take him right to Chicago, find Craig Hodges, work on that jump shot all summer long. That's all we doing is shooting. Exactly. Exactly. Because everybody want lethal shooter. You can't get to him because he's already moving around. Find Craig Hodges. Find Mark Price. If you can't find Craig Hodges, find Mark Price. Find Mark Price. There's a lot of the man. Listen, Craig Hodges or Mark Price. I'm trying to find one of them to get my jump shot right. Battle could be a difference maker. If we got him on one side and Gradey on the other side, Jacoby attacking the basket, O'Shea Abaji attacking the. This is the bench with Jamal Shed as the point. Man, listen, that's the bench right there. Get us a little center from somewhere who could. We already got Mobile. Let Mobile play the center coming off the bench. We good. We good. We got a solid starting five, good bench. Let's roll. Fifth seed. I think he's going to be fine too. He's just figuring out that everybody's athletic at the NBA level. Because he's used to being super athletic, being that guy that can get his shot up. Now everybody's athletic. I think he's starting to figure out how he can get his off. More so in transition, and then from there you can work into the half court sets. He's figuring it out. I agree. There's a big upside to him, especially with his ability to dribble and pass. Like he can do a little bit of everything at that size, and he can finish. Yeah, Grady definitely needs to get stronger. Definitely needs to get stronger. Because that's the only thing guys can do with him is be physical. Because you can't really stop him from shooting, but you can be physical with him before he gets the ball and kind of wear him down. The only thing I don't like about the NBA now is that everybody goes into the summer trying to figure out all the things they need for the next year, as opposed to one thing. Like in the 90s, you only needed one more thing added to your game, right? You just add one more thing, then the next year you add one more thing. A lot of these kids are trying to do so much in the summer, and when they come into the season, they got all these skills that are unperfected. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to having one thing that they perfect and then keep building from that. And I think that's the thing that Mike had over everybody. There was that patience to build one thing at a time. He added one new thing to his game, but he perfected that new thing before the summer, before the end of the summer, going into the season. We got a lot of kids now trying to do everything. They're trying to work on dribble moves. They're trying to work on footwork. They're trying to work on shooting. They're trying to work on like it's pick one thing. I think when you get back to picking one thing, you're better off. He can make big, like Jacoby can make some real big leaps if he can focus on one thing that he needs more than anything and master that. Are we? Do we have to? But do we have to start him? If he can come off the bench, he can get six man of the year possibly. But I don't know if he's going to crack our starting lineup if everything works out the way it's working out. Could he like if he could do that from the bench and win six man, that would be crazy. I think if he can make a leap and he's coming off the bench and we're winning, I think he could definitely win six man. I think him being a starter this soon, I think it's better if he could win six man and then grow into the starting role. But he's dope though. Like Gradey Dick is definitely good. Like he hasn't disappointed at all since we drafted him. There's no like Malachi situation where we get this high and then it's like these lows. It's like he's consistently playing and producing. Oh damn, he only 19? Oh, that's crazy. If he's only 19, that's crazy. If he's 20 and he getting all this experience, that's definitely good work. Oh, he's 21, that's still good. That's still good. You got 2 NBA seasons under your belt. You started a good portion of the second one. That's kind of dope. He gonna try that Kobe shit. Watch. He gonna try that Kobe shit. Remember, you playing with Kobe. He gonna try all that Kobe shit. Watch. He gonna try all that Kobe shit. I'm the first one at the gym. I'm at the gym at 5:30. Watch. He gonna try that gym, that double workout. We at the gym at 5:30. Watch. Watch him try all that Kobe Bryant shit. I don't I don't trust that Bi could teach these kids much. You know what I mean? Because he's still trying to do his thing. It's hard to be. It's like trying to be a rapper and a CEO at the same time. It's that type of thing. You still trying to get yours. You kind of. I don't know how he's going to be able. Like they could work out together, but I don't. As far as doing the same drills, but I don't know as far as like verbally teaching them stuff. He's talking from a vantage point of somebody who's been there, and he's like 6'8", 6'9". You know what I mean? That's going to be. That's you can't explain that vantage point. Hell no, Ingram is not better than DeRozan. Like I don't even like DeMar like that. I wouldn't say that he's better than DeMar. That's crazy. Nah, I can't say that Ingram's better than DeMar. Nah, you can set your clock to DeMar DeRozan. You can set your clock to him. He's gonna get you 24, 25 a game, perimeter work every game. I don't know. I can't put him ahead. I can't do that. That's tough. Yo, we still got Temple. Yo, we are not gonna let the guidance counselor go. Yo, we come on, beloved. Like, what does he actually do? No, no, I'm here. I'm here. Just sometimes I'll get off the mic real quick. I'm still here though. No, I'm still here. No, no, I'm still here. I'm looking for an outlet. I gotta plug my phone up real quick. Shit is dying on me. Give me 1 second. Good point. Good point. Yeah, yo, four. But when you say good mentor, it's like, yo, you paying them $3 million. There's no guidance counselor in America that's getting paid $3 million, yo. Like, what is he teaching them? I got like, what is he teaching them that makes him worth $3 million? Like, I don't know what he do. Like, for real, like he's like Tommy. This nigga ain't got no job. He chilling. He ain't teaching nobody nothing. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. Like, what does he really teach? To the point where they're keeping him. Like, they could have just made him an assistant coach. I don't think the kids listen to him. I don't know, man. I know Scotty don't listen to him. You know what I mean? Like, who is he really talking to? Yeah, I would have made him an assistant coach. I'd have made him an assistant coach, and then we figured out from there. $3 million just to. Yeah, I love this team though. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm saying, man. If you would have told me we'd end up in this position with, like, damn, the future looks good. Like, we actually got some hope out of this season. That record, man. Listen, that record is enough to make you. Whew, it'll drive you to drink. You know what I mean? That record will drive you to drink. Now it's like it's over. We got a free season. We got a free season. Yeah, we got yeah. Scotty. Honestly, I would put Scotty in the film room. Like, I would put him in a room and have him just watch game after game and go through tape after tape after tape after tape. Have him watch Magic, Bird. I have him watch all the greats up until now and pick parts of their game and see what sticks. He got too many attributes. Like, I think he's cursed with too many skill sets. Like, he can do everything you need him to do, but the hardest part is to figure out what can work in the game. And he wants to be appreciated for it and shit. So if you don't show him that love, he might get in his feelings. I don't know, man. I don't know. He hasn't accomplished, like, it's hard to. But then again, the best coaches aren't the more successful players. So he might have a vantage point or perspective that works. But I would just made him an assistant coach, man. Yeah, 3 million is crazy. That's a lot. Let one of us talk to them for 3 million. That'd be dope. Darko is a funny coach, but I don't know. We needed somebody who's new to the game, who's gonna take on this shit, and as we make these decisions, we're not held to a certain standard as far as what we should be doing as far as wins and losses. If you got a young coach, you get grace. Like, that's the one thing we all did as fans. Once they brought in a brand new coach who's never coached before, it bought them some time. You know what I mean? They're playing three-dimensional chess. Like, I apparently this nigga Masai and Bobby Webster are geniuses. I'm not questioning the shit they do. They're light years ahead of whatever I'm thinking that are possibilities. Like, these niggas are smart, super smart. They see all the angles, and getting that coach might have been an angle. Like, getting a spanking brand new coach, knowing that they have marquee decisions to make, and the only thing that would enable them to make these marquee decisions with the least amount of friction or public opinion is to get a brand new coach who don't know shit either. So if we losing, it look like it's the coach's fault because he don't know shit. He never coached before. While you make all the great decisions and build the roster up, and then bring in the coach that's really going to coach the team to the next level. Fucking diabolical. These dudes are diabolical. Oh, we could bring Kyle back? That's dope. We could bring Kyle back. That's dope. Oh yeah, he coming off a 90 mil deal. Yeah, I don't know. That 3 million ain't gonna be appealing to him. And Kyle, yo, is it me or Kyle is kind of bougie? Kyle is a Philly dude from the hood, but that money made him real bougie. I don't think he's gonna settle for the three though. I don't think he's gonna settle for the three. If that's what they're gonna offer him, now I don't think he's bougie. He's too bougie. I don't think he's gonna take that. He always been bougie. Like I was surprised when people was like, "Yo, he's from Philly, yada yada," and then you hear him talk, you be like, "Yo, there's a lot of Grey Pool Pond in that." Like there's a lot of I don't do that in his voice. Like we don't do that anymore. You know, I do. Nah, we don't do that. That's not us. We're not. We don't engage in said activities. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's dope though. It's elevation. I guess. You know, he's not eating a cheesesteak. Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm waiting for Fred to have that podcast. You know, Fred is gonna have a podcast. He gonna talk crazy. I'm waiting for Fred to finish his career so I can get on. I got it. I gotta hear that podcast. Fred is. If you don't think Fred VanVleet is gonna have a podcast, I can't wait for that podcast. He's gonna be talking reckless. They don't have Alvin Williams as much as they used to though. Do they have like the broadcasters for the Raptors? Do they have like a circuit of four guys that they bring in from time to time? Because I remember one year, what was it like 2022? Alvin Williams was there a lot, and then last year he wasn't there that much. He got into it with the guy in the after, one of the after game joints conversations, and then I don't see him that much this year. I just believe he gonna have a podcast. He got a lot to say. It's gonna be interesting to hear that bullshit. He wrote a book. Anybody that's gonna write a book, I know they're gonna have a podcast. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot Kyle Goff's. Oh man. Yo, who we play next? Because I know we don't play again till Wednesday. Oh no, Thursday, I think. Oh, that's dope. That's a good one right there. That's gonna be an interesting one. Damn, they don't play again till Friday. Okay. All right, that's cool. That's a long wait. That's a long wait. We got to see how. I want to see how it plays out at the end though, because I know a lot of teams are gonna start positioning themselves, giving up games so that they can stay in a certain position. Because nobody really wants to be matched up with the Knicks. Nobody really wants to be matched up with Orlando or the Pacers. Like they're trying to avoid certain teams. They don't want fucking Milwaukee in the first. Like there's certain teams. I think mostly everybody wants either Cleveland or Boston in that first round. I don't think people want to see New York or the Pacers or Orlando right off the rip. I think we're gonna get some games that I don't think we need, but I think we're gonna get more wins than expected. Hopefully that don't mess up the draft situation. Whenever we play against the Bulls, they only do two things. They're one of the best fast break teams, and they shoot a lot of threes against us. They're gonna try and hit 16 threes. If we can keep up with the 3-point shooting, we can beat them every time. Because they're looking to hit 16 threes against us. They know we have a problem keeping up. And then if they're in transition running, we can keep up with that. It's that 3-point shooting that we fall behind on. Oh, that's crazy. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get going. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. But yo, I'm gonna try and do this again later on tonight. If I can find a quiet spot, we can probably do this later on tonight. I'm off tonight, so it ain't no games. I appreciate that, four. Have a great one, man. Stay blessed. All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all. All right, peace.